Hello all, in this particular tutorial we will learn how to create the first Linux virtual machine on using VirtualBox. I am going to create an Oracle Enterprise Linux on VirtualBox. You can use any of the below operating systems such as Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Fedora, Ubuntu, Debian, etc. and these steps will work exactly fine. The two softwares that we need is we need to have the Oracle VirtualBox, so you can download it from this particular link, and Oracle Enterprise Linux 9.1 ISO, you can download it from this particular link. Once the Oracle VirtualBox is downloaded, install the Oracle VirtualBox and then you are ready to create your first virtual machine. Let's start with our tutorial. So what I'm going to do is launch the browser and search for Oracle VirtualBox. I'm going to search for this and it gives me this particular link. I'm going to go to that particular link and it says download VirtualBox 7. This is the latest version. So go for that particular version. 7.0.6 is actually the latest version. Click on that. It starts downloading. It's close to 105 MB package. It depends on which version it is. Currently, the 706 is 105. Now I clicked on Windows host because my base operating machine is Windows. And you need to choose if you are running a Mac, you need to choose Mac. If you are running any other host, you need to choose based on your what host. I am going to do this on Windows and I chose Windows. And then you also need to download another package called VirtualBox extension pack. This is very important. This is required and we'll click on that. It's a small package of 17.7 MB. Both of these packages are downloaded. Now the next part is download the Oracle Enterprise Linux 9.1 ISO. Now this particular package is it can be downloaded from this particular link yum.oracle. So you can see here that is a package for Oracle 9.1 64-bit 64 DVD ISO. Just click on that, it start downloading. It's a 9 GB package. It's a big package. It's going to take some time. However, if you want to use Fedora, or you can download the Fedora. So you can say Fedora and you can download Fedora Workstation or Fedora Server. So let's say this one, this is just a 2 GB of package. So you can see it's 1.9 GB package. So if you want to install any other Linux, this is going to work fine. If you want to use Ubuntu operating system, you can download Ubuntu as well. So you can go to Ubuntu and download accept, and you can download the free download. You can click on that, not this. You can download, where would I be able to download? Let's look at the download button and we can choose one of these particular options to download this. So you can choose whichever operating system. Now I am going to use Oracle Linux, and as I mentioned, this particular tutorial exactly same steps will work on Red Hat, Fedora, Ubuntu, etc., with small variation, not much. Now let's close this and let's go to the location where we have downloaded the VirtualBox. So this is the location, run as admin, and we are going to click as, so we are going to install Oracle VirtualBox 7.06. Click as, and let's minimize this and click on next. Whatever options you want to keep or uncheck, but I believe best to keep all of these options. They are required. If you want to change the location, you can change, but I'm not going to change it. Proceed with the installation now. Yes. And missing dependencies is going to install them. So let's do that. And if you see right now, the VirtualBox is getting installed. An icon appeared on my desktop for the VirtualBox. All good. Once the VirtualBox, I'm going to uncheck this, click on finish. We downloaded one more package, the extension box. Install that as well. That's a small package. Reinstall. I think I already had it. That's why it asked for. But I'm going to just show you how to install it, and that's done. So we got two packages. Now the third thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a directory, create a folder on your one of the drive. I'm going to create it under the C drive. I've named it as VM. You can name it as anything. This particular folder is where I'm going to store all the virtual machines. So I'll say file preferences and I'll change the default folder to C drive VM. That's done. Okay, all good. Now what we are going to do is we are ready to create our first machine. So click on the machine button. So let me minimize this. Let me minimize this. It's little, I do not know why it's behaving like this. Let me make it, just give me a minute. Yeah, so let me put it in the center, and I'm going to say machine new, and I'm if you see here, it's by default to Windows, and but I'm going to type OEL 91, and you see automatically it changed to Linux because it identified that I want to install Oracle Enterprise Linux. Choose the ISO image, so click on other where you have stored the location, the ISO image, so that's in the downloads. So I'm going to choose this ISO image. I'm going to say skip unattended. So if you want to install the you can, but I'll choose skip and then click on next and give at least 4 GB. I'll give 8 GB, but at least give 4 GB, and then give 2 processors. I'll give 4 processors. At least give 2 processors. Less than 2 is going to struggle, so give 2 processors, give 4 GB at minimum. Click on next. Create a virtual hard drive, give any size. This is, it's not, if you say pre-allocate is going to occupy 80 GB, but I have not checked it, so it's not going to create a 80 GB file. It's going to create few MBs. It's going to be a very small file. Click on next, click on finish. All done. Now let's go to this particular machine and say start. Select that particular machine. I can just double click, or I can say start. And what's it going to do in the background? It's going to it's going to start it's going to read that particular installation media, and it's going to start the installation. So I'm going to click on X here, and you can see I'm going to click here. I'm going to say capture, and I'm going to type I, and you can see now the install Oracle Linux 9.1.0 is highlighted. I'm going to press enter, and it's mouse integration. I'm going to close this. And what it's going to do is going to read the disk, the ISO image, and it's going to give us a menu for us to select options. So give it a minute, and we are there. Whichever language you want to. So I'm going to again capture this and click on English. I'm going to do this in English. Whichever language you want to do it, you can choose one and continue. And now these are some of the important parts. So time zone, if you want to change the time zone, you can change. You can click here. If you based on the time zone, you can choose the region and you can change the time zone. That's done. I'm okay with this. The kdump, if you want to have the kdump, you can, but this is personal machine, so I'm going to uncheck the kdump. That's fine. If you want to give the host name, you can give the host name. I'll say this is the DB1, or this is a database machine, so I'll give the name as database. Apply. That's done. And what kind of packages we want to install. So software with server with the GUI. If you don't want any, if you want other type of like just a server, minimal install workstation, so you can choose one of this particular option. The server with GUI looks good. I'm going to go down and I'm going to choose some additional packages such as the RPM development packages and the legacy Unix compatibility. So development tools, these are some of the packages that I'm going to install. So I have not chosen anything else. All that I chose is Linux Unix compatibility, development tools, and RPM development tools. These are the only 3 packages that I installed. And if you want to install the graphics, you can install the graphical. Based on what kind of packages you want to install, you can choose those. Click on done. Now installation destination by default is going to create the automatic partition. We should be good with that particular partition, so I'm not going to change it. If you want to change it, you can change it. Click on done. And now still it's not allowing us to click on the begin installation because the root account we have not set, the root password we have not set. So if you want to log the root account, we can lock it. I'm not going to log the root account and allow root SSH login with the password. If you want to allow the root to log in using the SSH, you can click on this. Give a complicated password. I'm not going to give a complicated password. We can change it at a later point in time. So the password that I entered is password, but you can change it at a later point in time. So click on done. Click on done once again because it's a different, and now you see the begin installation button has appeared. Now what it's going to do is it's going to read the disk, the ISO image, is going to create the partitions and all of that, and it's not going to download the packages. All that it does is like it downloads the packages from those ISO image, and it's going to start the installation. As you can see, it says 1332 packages that needs to be installed. So right now it's going to install 1332 packages. Based on what options you chose, you might see a higher number or a lower number. Don't worry about that. If there are some missing packages, we will install them at a later point in time. If there are some extra packages, they are not going to get harmed. But if you want to remove it at a later point in time, you can remove them. So now this particular is going to take some time. It's going to install all the packages, so it's going to take some time. I'm going to pause this video and come back when it's about to finish. So we are almost about to be done. All looks good. It's going to create users and some more settings. And we have reached to a situation where it now asks us to reboot the machine. Look, everything is complete, and now it's requesting for the reboot. Let's say reboot, capture, and let's say reboot, and it's going to reboot the machine. Once the machine is completed, the reboot is completed, the next part is we need to install some mandatory packages. Actually, the reason why we need to install those mandatory packages is because if I so let's say start setup, location services, if you want to keep it on, you can keep it on. I'm not going to keep it on. If you want to connect any of your online account you want to connect, you can connect. I'm going to say skip. First user, so let's say we want to create a user called Oracle. If you want to connect to enterprise Linux login, you can. If I don't have the enterprise, give the password for the Oracle login. So give the password for Oracle login, and I'm giving the simple password, so that's okay. We can change it at a later point in time. Start using Oracle Linux server. So we have got Oracle Linux installed. Do you want to take a tour of Oracle Linux? I'm going to say no thanks. Now if you see here, this screen is pretty small. It's not allowing us to make big. It's a very small screen. It's not allowing us to, it's not allowing us to make that big. So what we need to do is there is another package called VirtualBox Guest Edition. We need to install that particular package now, but before doing that, there will be some mandatory packages that are missing, and because of those mandatory packages missing, it won't allow us to actually install the VirtualBox Guest Edition. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut down this particular machine. And once I shut down this particular machine, I'm going to go to the settings. So I'm clicked here. I went to the settings. I'll go to the network. I will add another adapter. This time I'll say enable network adapter, and I'll choose breached adapter. Click on OK. So now I got two network adapters. One is the net adapter, and the second one is the breached adapter. So the net adapter and the breached adapter. Click on OK, and I'm going to say start. So let's wait for the machine to come online. And it's booting, and now let's log in. If you want to log in as an Oracle, you can log in. I'll log in as a root user. So let me log in as a root user. Now, some of the distributions won't allow, like Ubuntu will not allow you to log in as the root user. The Oracle Linux or Red Hat allows you. So I have logged in as a root user. You click this is the net adapter. This is the second adapter, which is off. I'm going to click on wired settings, and I'm going to just, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just say wired. Okay. I'm going to say connect. So I said connect. And what I'm going to do now is once that is connected, I'm going to run a command called ifconfig, and it will give me the IP. So the IP for the second adapter is 192.168.1.7. I'm going to take a note of that IP. So I'll launch putty, and I launched that IP 192.168.1.7. How did I get this particular IP? I just turned on this particular network. It was not turned on. I turned it on. Then I ran a command called ifconfig. It gave me an IP 192.168 for the second adapter, the S08 adapter. that's the IP that I'm using here, 192. If you can see 192.168.1.7, I'm going to use that particular IP, and I'm going to log in to this particular machine. I'm going to log into this particular machine as a root or Oracle, whatever you want to log in. So let's log in as a root user. Once that is done, now we are going to install some mandatory packages. These are the mandatory packages that we are going to install. So I'll put this document. This particular document has got those packages listed. So I'm going to put this document in the description. So you can, if you want, you can refer this particular document. So these are the packages that we are going to install. So I'm going to install all of these 4 packages. So I can do that all together. So what it's going to do is it's going to go off the internet. It's going to get connected to the internet, and it's going to download those packages, and it's going to install. So let's wait for those 4 packages to be installed. Whatever packages that we mentioned here, and along with this, it might install some additional packages, because what it will do is like it will find out if there are any dependencies. So it will try to find out those, and it will install those additional packages as well. So let's wait for these packages to be installed. Give it a minute. So right now it's here, then GCC, then make. So these are the 4 packages. So GCC now, that's the one which is getting installed, and finally it will install the make if it is not already installed. So let's give it a minute and make. Okay, that's all good. So the last one was make, and that's already installed. So that's good. Now that packages are installed, go back to the server, and what we'll do, let's close this, and you can see that I'm still not able to make it big. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on this devices. I'm going to click on the devices, click on insert guest addition CD image. I'm going to click on that. It will prompt, and you can see it prompted us with this. Click on run, and then it's going to install the VirtualBox guest additions. You can see right on your screen, it's going to install the VirtualBox guest additions. Now, what are the advantages of this particular package? This particular package allows us to make the screen big. One, it allows us to share the folders between this particular Windows machine. So whatever files, if you want to access the files from your Windows machine into the Linux, it allows us to create a shared folder. And also, if you type something here, so if you copy something here and you want to copy that into the virtual machine, you won't be able to do without this particular. So if I've copied it, see here, I've copied this particular, and if I can paste it, but if I try to paste it here, if I try to paste it in the terminal, it won't work. You can see it's not pasting. It's not pasting. Whatever is here, it's pasting here. It's not pasting. So all of this can be done using the VirtualBox guest addition. So what we're going to do is we are going to say shut down H now. So we are going to shut down this particular machine. And I can just close this. It's taking a bit time. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to the settings. I clicked on this particular, I can right click, I can click on the settings, go to the advanced, say shared clipboard, enable that to bidirectional. So from Windows to Linux, from Linux to Windows, bidirectional. That's done. Click on settings one more time. Go to the shared folder. Let's say I want to access the C drive of my Windows machine. So let's say I want to access the C drive of my Windows machine. So C drive. And give that an auto mount, which means that every time the server is restarted, it will mount that particular C drive. Click on OK. That's done. That's good. Now let's start the virtual machine and see the magic. 3 things is going to happen. It's going to bring up the screen in a big. It's going to make the screen big. That's one thing. Whatever copy that we do on our Windows machine, whatever command and if we want to copy that to Linux, we can copy that. And third thing, we can access. So let's log in as a root once again. So let's log in as root. And what we are going to do is, you can see now the screen is pretty big. We got a big screen. It was not possible. Now I'm going to copy this. I'm going to just say copy from Windows. I'm going to take this. I'm going to open the terminal, and I'm going to paste it in the VirtualBox in the Linux environment. So right click, paste, and you can see whatever we copied from Windows, that is pasted. And if I say this is from Linux, I'm going to take this, copy this, and I'm going to try to paste it on the notepad of my Windows server. So whatever I copied from here, we are able to paste it here. So the copy paste is working. That's good thing. The full screen is working. That's the good thing. And now let's see if we can access the files from our Windows. So go and you can see there is a C drive. This is the Windows. You can see Windows and boot. This is the Windows drive. This is the Windows drive that we can access from our Linux server. So that's the advantage of the VirtualBox. This is the VirtualBox. We were able to do a lot. So with this we have successfully set up our first Linux virtual machine. Not only that, we also connected to that particular virtual machine we were able to connect to that particular virtual machine using the putty. We were able to connect. So we did that. So we were able to remote connect to that. And we were also able to copy the files. We were able to copy the text from Windows machine onto the Linux, from the Linux to the Windows, and we were able to access the Windows C drive into the Linux. So if I want to copy a file, let's say if I have a file here, let me say this copy, I'm going to paste it into this one, and I'm going to go to that VM and Firefox, and if I want to copy it to the documents, I can copy it. So that copy paste works. So you can share the files from Windows into Linux, from Linux to Windows, all works fine. I hope this particular tutorial was useful. I'm going to share this particular link so you have the access. This was your tutorial on how to create your first Linux virtual machine. We used Oracle Enterprise Linux on VirtualBox. The same tutorial will work for Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Fedora, Ubuntu, Debian, etc. I'll record another video for Windows, but till then, enjoy. I hope you found this particular tutorial useful. After watching this particular tutorial, you will be able to create your Linux virtual machine if needed on VirtualBox. Thank you for watching and see you in next tutorial. Bye bye.